All right, what's up, fellow lefties? It's your boy Michael Harris, joined as always with Lincoln Cook,
That's me.
uh, coming at you with another left-hand backhand. And yeah, let's get it started. How you doing this week, Luke? Lincoln?
Whoa, Luke.
Yeah, I know.
It's all right. My wife's grandma called me Logan, and I've only been married to her for 7.5 years and
It's
known
okay.
her grandma for 9 years. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Yep.
No, things are good. Colorado's cold and snowy.
Yep.
Ordinarily, I would push through that, but man,
Just gets
I don't
harder and
know.
harder. Huh.
It does, and like having wanting to actually throw and like improve your form is hard when you feel like you're not even like throwing far because you're just so cold and
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. So haven't hardly played. But what about you?
Just a lot of field work.
I'm
Trying to
jealous.
dial in that putting. Um,
Attaboy.
been working on it. It's not drastically improving, but a little bit each day it'll get better eventually. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Just getting ready for a tournament coming up in March.
Yeah, yeah. Little over a month left till I hit the road to Arizona.
Heck yeah.
So
And you're driving out for it?
yeah, I'll just drive out. It's about 5.5, 6 hours. So
Oh, that's not bad at all.
yeah, yeah, it's great. Yeah.
All
Think
right.
I'm gonna take my dog, hit up a course or two on the way out there, maybe Palm Springs or something, and get her out with me to enjoy the disc golf.
Yeah, that'd be solid.
So
That'd be
yeah.
solid.
All right, so we
All
got a
right.
typical show. We got the some disc golf news. We got our dealer's choices. We got in the bag, and then we'll finish it up with a little 2-minute drill. So
Yes, sir.
you want to take it away with some disc golf news you have?
Yeah, there hasn't been a ton of news. One of the two pieces of news that I thought was interesting uh was Nate Perkins leaving Discmania.
Yeah, yeah,
Interesting. I mean, he was a better asset for them 4 years ago,
yeah,
but he's been like the quote unquote agent for a bunch of disc
yeah,
golfers
yeah,
recently. So I don't know what this means for him.
yeah. I mean, the thing that someone else has said is like you never really fully retire from disc golf. I would say it's just you take a step back from full blown touring. That's your main objective and goal. Um, so it's
Because he was
you can
doing some DGPT stuff, right?
yes, yeah. He's also doing I don't know if he's like he's doing commentary. He kind of
Okay.
runs around
So
the course a little bit. So
is he a little bit of kind of a Brian Earhart
yeah,
type of
yeah,
role?
yeah. Whereas
Couple
like
couple Brian Earharts right there.
oh yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm glad we have the disc golf pro tour has players who have that playing experience that know the courses, know the players, and can help add a lot of value to the on-course commentary. I think that's really important for them to keep as many of those guys that are not playing anymore still involved and bring a good product to households.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm not the biggest Nate Perkins fan, but he does provide a lot of context. And if he's like an on the ground sort of color commentary
Hmm.
person, that's
Hmm.
only going to help the product be better and have more value. So I
Yeah,
think it'll
for
be
sure.
fine. I wonder if he'll sign elsewhere or he'll kind of go to maybe an open bag because I'm sure he'll probably play some events, you know?
Yeah, yeah. He'll find a way. They all do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the only other piece of news was did you watch the pre-memorial tournament? What do they call that thing?
The Shelly Sharp Memorial. I don't know if it's
The
memorial, but
Shelly
the
Sharp
Shelly Sharp.
Open or
Um,
something like that.
yep, yep. I
Yeah.
watched the first round. So I haven't watched the second or third round that the disc golf guy, Terry Miller.
Yeah. Terry Miller.
His videos are just they're so good. The way he does them are just
It's
not nonchalant, but it's just like, to me, like that's what disc golf is. It's just like one guy recording, maybe two camera angles, and you just kind of point, shoot, cut, paste,
yeah,
and that's, you put commentary over it. So
yeah. I feel like his production hasn't changed since
no, no,
like in the last 10 years. I don't know.
yeah, yeah,
But he's great. I
yeah,
think he's actually pretty solid for the
oh
I like
yeah,
him as like an interviewer type on the ground. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. He's good. He's good.
But
The
AB
results,
and
yeah.
playing with Discraft didn't look too great.
No, I mean that first round, I don't, that course is it's different this year. So they
Is it?
changed a few pin locations. They added a few OB markers. Terry was talking about it. Trying it's literally the pre-memorial to test the waters so much.
Sure.
Like, do we want to actually change this hole or that hole or add this out of bounds? Um, so they changed a few things, and so it's just not as easy as it used to be. It's not just throw, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if because he hasn't been able to get out and practice that course so much with his new bag, if he just didn't wasn't fully confident, because you kind of got to keep your new sponsor under wraps. Um,
Sure. Yeah,
so
not
he
as
yeah
much work with it.
yeah, but in the past those have been courses that have suited his game, Adam Hammonds' game,
Big
Drew
forehands,
Gibson.
big backhands. Yeah.
Yeah, just it's a very open, like you don't have to be super technical, but you just have to hit your lines, hit your angles, and
It's a little bit
know
like
how your discs
Colorado
fly.
golf.
Yes. Yeah.
You just you can put it out on a big hyzer
Yeah.
and
Yeah. You just got to
if you know
avoid
your
the
discs, you can
uh
have it crash where you need it
yeah.
to
Yeah.
crash.
So I mean, I'm not, it's too early to say he's gonna stink it up. So I'm not gonna think too much into his results. It is his home course. He goes to school about 10 minutes away from there. He's always practicing it. So
Yeah.
a little disappointing, but it is what it is.
Well, as someone who just recently played that course,
Yeah.
or one of the courses,
You played
there's
the one.
the
That's the only one.
uh isn't there's the water fountain one, right?
Yeah, that's for the memorial only, but they didn't play that for the
Okay, they just play Vista del
I'm
Camino.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I don't
So I
yeah.
played that course,
Yeah. Yep.
and it's a long course.
Yeah.
I played well actually, and it was fun, but it was just a very long course. Elevated
Mm-hmm.
baskets. They keep the elevated baskets there year round, which is
Yeah.
kind of interesting.
Yeah. 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 So they
But
changed a few things, like on hole, I don't know if it was two or three, they tucked the basket behind a farther tree. So it's a longer carry. And then
yeah,
they added a double mando on hole, I believe it was four or five, I'm not sure, where it's just like straight down the middle, and they just kind of stunk it up on that hole. But
well, it's exciting to have a little bit of disc golf action, even though it's
yeah,
beginning
yeah,
of, or I guess it's end of January, but the
yeah.
beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm. And then that was my disc. That was my news. Was, were you surprised, shocked, impressed with Andrew Marweed and Noah? I'm gonna butcher his last name.
Meitzma
Meinsema.
or
Yeah.
Mienzma. I've heard it pronounced
I
both
mean,
ways.
yeah, yeah. Surprised by their results because this is their first year with DGA, I believe, right?
Second year for Marweed.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Last year, him
But
and Cat Allen went to DGA.
yeah. Yeah. So
I like Marweed. I think he's a good dude. He's just quiet, keeps to himself. I love the cookie bit.
yeah.
He
Right.
eats his
Mini
cookie
mini.
as a mini. I think it's great.
Yeah.
No, I am not surprised. I think it just took some adjusting for him to go from Innova, which he had had for 10 years, to
Mm-hmm.
a brand new sponsor, different plastic.
Yeah.
Wasn't like he had tested the waters around like Ricky, where he'd like played, multiple different
Been around.
sponsors.
Yeah.
He was just
Yep.
Innova and now DGA slash Discraft.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah,
Good.
no, I like him. I think he's solid. I don't really have much else on it.
Yeah. So it'll be an exciting season. I'm glad that there was some new disc golf to watch on YouTube this weekend
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
So it
Rather
was
than just
nice.
waiting for the next foundation video or
Yep.
something like that.
Jomez putting leagues, all that jazz.
Yeah, exactly. I can only
Yeah.
handle so much of that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So
Sick.
um the next one, do you want
Dealer's
to
choice.
do this choice? Are you want to take it off or do you want me to?
I
It
can go
don't matter.
first.
All right. You were teasing
Yeah,
this a little bit last week, right?
I did. I gave a little bit of a teaser.
Okay.
Um, I mentioned the Hex, I believe,
Yes.
and a couple other discs. But my thought is, what are discs that you actually like threw well, but they didn't make your bag because they didn't fly like you expected them to fly?
Oh,
Meaning the expectation of how a disc should fly based on its flight numbers, based on like what you've seen other people throw it as,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
then how you actually threw it.
Okay.
And I'll go first to give you a second to
Yeah.
think about it.
Okay.
Granted, it's because I'm a small arm and I'm also up in Colorado,
Yeah.
but the FD, I want to love the FD so bad,
Yeah.
but it's just stable for me. It
Yeah.
flies like a T-bird,
Yeah.
and it's not the hyzer flip to turning disc,
Yeah.
very straight
Yeah.
neutral.
Yeah.
The FD was the first disc where I was like, I want to love this disc, but I can't.
Yeah. That makes sense. Um, one of the first ones that comes to my mind is the Discraft Onyx.
Ah,
I have one, and the flight numbers on it are the 10 6 0 3. So you're
mm-hmm.
like, oh, a beefcake, but it has glide.
Yeah,
Um, it to me, it was never overstable enough to be like a super wind fighter type of felon or um overstable disc like that way.
PD
Or
esque.
yeah, it was never quite that. Um, but it definitely wasn't like super far flying either.
Sure.
Yeah, so it just felt like it was kind of the opposite of yours, was like not quite overstable enough
Yeah.
to
What you thought the flight numbers would be, it didn't
yeah,
wasn't close
yeah,
to that.
yeah. And then you watch Paul throw it, you watch Ezra Aderhold throw it, and they're throwing theirs as like they're flat, straight, hold the line for 400 to 450 feet holes. It's like it doesn't fly like they do it. So
Yeah. And like
it's
Paul at Worlds was like throwing it on like steep hyzer lines and having it
yeah,
flip up and turn, like that purple one that he was throwing.
yeah. Like
It's like, what
that's
the heck is this thing, man?
yeah. So it's a I mean that's a typical case of the flight numbers kind of skewing your kind of
Perception.
perception of a disc for sure.
Yeah.
But
The reason this whole thought came to mind was because I remember you trying out the hex,
yeah, yeah,
and I wanted to try one out because I was like, everybody's hyping this up. It seems
yeah,
like it's kind of a cool disc, and now Simon's got the axolotl
yep,
Eclipse hex, which looks pretty sick. I'll probably still get one just because I want to, right? But
yeah,
I remember you throwing the hex and asking, be like, dude, did you love it? Like, was it so sweet? And you're like, it was more stable than I thought, and
yeah,
I just didn't love it.
yeah,
Was
yeah.
it kind of that same thing where you expected it to be not flippy, but you expect it to be able to get turn and
Yeah, I definitely expected it to be more, I don't want to say workable, but more like if I hit it flat, it's going to stay flat. If I give it hyzer, it'll hold, kind of hold the hyzer and like turn. I thought it was going to be a little bit more neutral in its flight.
mm-hmm.
Um, and it was definitely more stable. Um, but kind of skipping into the in the bag, I put it back.
Oh,
I put it back in. I put it.
whoa,
Yeah, I'm on the Simon train.
yeah, boy.
Yeah, I have the disc. Um, I was throwing it today, and it just flies far, flies straight. So
Okay, because the first time I asked you about it, you said it
it
wasn't
was
flying
stable.
as far as you expected.
Yeah, it was. It's a lot. I don't say it's like beaten in yet, but it has gotten um
Not fresh.
no, it's not fresh. It's not fresh
That's
for
good.
sure. So
Yeah, that's sick. And then on the reverse side of it, oh, there you go. Uh, a disc that you like didn't want to like, but then
yeah,
you did because of the way that it flew and like almost like the stigma
yeah,
around that disc or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Do you have a disc like that that
Um,
you were surprised that you really liked, but
I'm looking at my bag right now. Um, None are standing out like at this moment. I would say probably my closest one is my insanity, I guess. I mean, people
yeah,
like it for a
a roller.
hyzer flip, like good control, but I'm using it as a predominant roller. So just its versatility and its kind of extreme understability was something that just like I don't know if I can't go without it because how often do I throw a roller? But
Sure.
if I ever need a left turning shot, like it's so reliably understable that no matter how I throw it, I know it's just gonna slow pan to the left. Um, or if I can roll it over, but it's one
Yeah.
of those just like reliably understable discs in my bag.
Yeah. Mine's
So
kind of similar. Mine was the Genius from Discmania,
yeah, yeah,
where that's the active line. It's
yeah,
like not as hyped or whatever.
yep.
That it's super understable, so it's like I don't need a super understable disc in my bag, blah blah blah. Which
No,
currently it's not in my bag because I don't play super wooded courses. But I
yeah,
imagine if I did play wooded courses, that would definitely be in my bag because I've got a baseline one and then a premium one. And the baseline one I can throw on like steep hyzer angles, and it's so sweet to just watch it slow, like not even slowly flip up, but just like kind of like flip up and then like get to like that turning angle the whole way.
yeah,
And it's just like that's a fun disc to throw.
yeah, yeah,
And
for
like
sure.
I can't throw rollers very well with it, but like I have, and they didn't turn out well. They didn't go very far,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like it was the first disc that I actually like threw a roller on purpose. And I was like, oh, okay,
yeah.
I can kind
This is
of
how
do
you do
this.
it. Like it actually makes sense when you have a disc that does what you want it to.
Yeah, I mean it was
Yeah,
so flippy that like I didn't even get power behind it, and it still rolled. But
yeah,
uh, I I imagine if I play wooded courses, I would probably keep one in my bag.
yeah, definitely,
So
definitely.
okay, that's my
Um,
dealer's choice.
Perfect.
What do you got for me?
Um, Mine will kind of blend in with that. It's you're talking about all those discs in your bag, and I will pose this question to you, and I will take the opposite side of you, no matter what you choose. So, do you think there should be a disc limit for pro tour events? We
That's a
don't
great
we
question.
don't necessarily have to come up with a number. We can give one if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'll give you a little bit of time to say yes, they should, or no, they shouldn't, and I will kind of give a debate rebuttal
Yeah,
on
playing
whatever you
devil's
don't choose.
advocate, even if you
Yeah,
don't agree.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I am on the firm stance that they should have a disc cap.
Okay, okay.
And the reason being is because I hate the thought. that someone could throw a disc into the water and then, say to their significant other, hey, can you go run in the car and grab this disc and bring it back for me and put it back in their bag? That is the number one reason I think there should be a cap on it,
Okay.
because you shouldn't be able to change your bag mid round. Like
Okay.
that to me is just unnecessary, and like the fact that that's allowed is, I don't think, is okay. There's
Solid.
also no regulations on like discs in people's bags. Like they don't check the weights or anything like that before a tournament.
Yeah.
But I think there needs to, I don't know how or when or the way to do it, but there needs to be a little bit of regulation,
Yeah.
because like Ricky had like these like 185-gram destroyers at one point,
Hmm.
and nobody checked them or anything like that. And then all of a sudden
Yeah.
people scaled them. And they're like, okay, these destroyers are way heavy.
Yeah.
And so I just think there needs to be regulation to someone's bag. I think there should be like a 30 disc like cap, because
Yeah.
there's enough. They can cover all the shots they need or whatever. They played the course
Yeah.
before. They know what they would or
Hmm.
would not throw.
Yeah.
And
If they lose one in the round, like that's just kind of
that's
you have to
that
do something else.
you threw a
Yeah.
bad shot.
Yeah.
You lost one in the round.
Yeah.
And in golf, there's a limit to the number of clubs you can have.
14.
There's regulations on those clubs,
Yeah.
like lengths and what's legal and what's not.
Yeah. Conforming
And
list.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's also, if you run out of golf balls in your bag, you're done.
Disqualified. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that that's, yeah, if you're
If you throw
shanking
all your
shots and
if you
throwing out of
throw all your
bounds,
discs into the water, yeah.
you shouldn't be rewarded for it, or not
Yeah.
rewarded, but you shouldn't be able to continue to play for it. You
Yeah.
should be DQ'd or whatever.
Good. Yeah.
So
Valid. Valid.
I think that it should be in effect. To
Yeah.
what extent, I don't know, but
Yeah.
I think it should be in effect.
Yeah. Okay, so devil's advocate here. I think players should be able to carry, roll, trek along as many discs as they want. If someone wants to take the time and energy and put in the work to understand 40 discs and carry them all with them, they should be able to. I don't think you should be able to be limited to carrying certain ones, because there's so many variables that can occur during the round, in a round. Say you start at 8 in the morning and there's no wind. So if you're limited to discs, you put those certain ones that'll fit that type of like weather. Say it starts snowing in the afternoon, so you need a little bit flippier stuff. Say it gets super windy. You're in Kansas. Wind picks up in the middle afternoon. So last 4 or 5 holes, you need some more stability than what you started the day with. I think you should be able to carry those with you. I think the just how bags are manufactured, how people are rolling their discs now, how people have caddies. They have the means to carry as many discs as they want to. And if they want to kind of just have their whole trunk with them for any reason that they're wanting, they should have the ability to. Or if they lose their favorite destroyer on hole 16 at the country club and they want it again for hole 18 on their approach shot, like you should be able to go to your car and fill that spot again, because those are the discs that you trust. You've put in the work in the field during the season. You had work and expertise with your discs. You should be able to put the best product on the course to be successful as possible.
I think that is a valid point, but I also think you can accomplish that with 30 discs.
Yeah.
And I think that being able to just have like a trolley with 50 discs in it, I almost think that would make a player worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
paralysis by analysis. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah. But
So
that's what I mean. Yeah.
I,
So
I understand the argument on both sides, and I understand players just not wanting to be regulated.
yeah.
But if we want to take the sport legitimately,
Yeah.
maybe we got to regulate ourselves.
Yeah. So that was my dealer's choice.
I like the debate side of it. It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I personally think they should limit. I would even go as low as 22 to 25, um, maybe even 20. Um,
That would make things very interesting for sure.
exactly. It
It would make
adds
them carry only one putter, you know, like
it adds a level of skill
mhm.
to the game that it's just something else that's like how you organize your bag, how you are able to throw multiple shots with one disc or one more. Like it just adds another
Mhm.
layer that I think would help push the the sport in a sense. I mean, I look
Yeah,
at like golf. You can't carry a a driver,
four
3 wood,
four
five
different
wood.
drivers.
Yeah, like it's just
Like
or
Phil
six
Mickelson.
different wedges.
Phil Mickelson used to carry two drivers,
Yeah,
one that would fade and one that would draw.
yeah, yeah,
And based on the hole, that's what he would pull out.
yeah,
But because he
yeah,
did that, he took out one less wood from his
yeah,
bag. So he didn't
yeah.
have a 5 wood at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
like, I think that's great. You should be able to carry two drivers if you want,
yeah,
but you're going to have to
yeah,
compromise or flex yourself
yeah,
elsewhere. I think that's a really cool idea.
yeah. I think
I
it
think
just
I think 22 is kind of like a number that you could settle on, but then all the bag manufacturers that have made these giant honking bags would
yeah,
be
yeah.
really
And
disappointed.
that's the thing is like people have their tour series discs that they want to push. Like if you limited the amount of discs you can have in your bag for that higher level, it's like you're kind of stopping the money making in disc golf.
Sure.
So it's like,
But also on your practice rounds, you can carry all those extra discs that you
yeah,
want and then
that's
figure
true.
out what you want to carry
Yeah,
in the actual tournament.
yeah, yeah. It's just something that I think would you'd see a little bit more skill, thought, planning. Um,
I think it would be
just
super entertaining to see, and it would
yeah,
make in the bags way more intriguing.
yeah. It's like, what are you doing? Like, are you still having those four um
Do you still have four buzzes in your, yeah,
Casey Pro rocks, or like can you get away
now
with
that
just two of them?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I like
So
that. I think that's
yeah,
good. Do you need 17 destroyers in your bag or can you get away with three, you know?
yeah, yeah, and yeah. I mean, it just
Well,
goes back to
how many discs do you have in your bag right now?
I I think I have 24, but I think like yeah, one, two,
I'm gonna count two.
24, 24. I normally carry, so I'm using the Atlas
20,
Atlas
24 as well.
bag. Yeah, I'm using the Atlas bag. Um, with my grip bag, I got the B series. I normally carry like that thing only kind of fits 20. Um,
Yeah, you could
so
squeeze a couple in elsewhere, but
yeah, so like that one only fits about 20. So I added four in this one. Um, and just like thinking of it, it's like I really don't need all these. I don't know why I have them. Like,
I mean, like when it comes down to tournaments, you're gonna throw the discs that you trust the most,
yeah,
and you're not gonna carry multiples. Like you'll keep multiples in the car. So
yeah,
like in between rounds, if you lose one or whatever, you can replace
yeah,
it if you need to. But
yeah, exactly. So
you're gonna throw your most trusted discs that you have the most confidence in.
yeah, yeah. So there's
It's fair.
different situations you find yourself in. You might like it, or I don't know. Sometimes I just put discs in there that are I'm wanting to be in and like throw more. just
Yeah.
because I only get field work out here. I don't get to play on many courses or with dirt, gravel, hitting chains. So um, I need to take them with me as much as possible to kind of season them in slightly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a perfect segue to talking about our bag. Um, have you put any new discs in your bag? Have you purchased any new ones? Are you questioning, like, do you have anything in your bag?
Um, I have I recently got a glitch,
Nice.
which was 146 grams.
All right, we're back. So you're talking about the glitch. What else you got going on?
Yeah. So in the bag, um, I recently got a glitch in a trade. It's 146 grams. It's one of the lightest discs that I've ever thrown.
Mm-hmm.
And when I picked it up, I was like, dang, that feels really light. I feel like I could throw this thing a country mile. And I've thrown it probably a dozen times, just like on a walk into snow.
Yeah,
Uh, and it's very fun to throw. Super
yeah,
controllable, very neutral, very straight, very glidey, very fun disc. So it
yeah.
got me thinking, maybe I should swallow my pride and throw some lighter discs.
Nice.
So what's come in the mail in the last week is an Air Escape. This
Perfect.
is 154 grams. Nice solid pink color.
Yeah,
It's somewhat used, not super used. And then an Air Sword that's 153 grams.
perfect.
And this thing I know is going to be flippy. Especially even here in Colorado, I can just like feel this thing is going to flip.
Yeah,
Like it feels so light that it's just going to like flip over.
yeah,
But I wanted to layer, test out lighter discs that would layer with what's currently in my bag.
yeah,
And in part because when there's a tailwind, I don't have discs that are flippy enough in my bag that still will turn. Like people say that they get, big distance in a tailwind. I feel like I don't. I feel like it knocks my disc down a lot of
yeah,
times.
yeah,
Whereas
yeah,
if I can actually get a lighter weight disc that could stay up in the air, that I could actually throw, and I feel like it would, yeah, make it more stable, but also I think I could get extra glide out of it. So
nice.
it's an experiment I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
Well, I got
perfect.
two of these. I've tried to get a trade for a couple others, but
Yeah.
and then I actually did lie. I forgot. I have one more new disc. It's a suspect. You see that?
Ooh, fusion one.
This is a sick fusion suspect. My buddy had one forever, and he loved it. Jesse from Trash Panda, his
Yeah,
favorite disc is his Biofusion Suspects,
yeah,
and I felt them. They've always felt good. I've always been a zone guy, but I was searching for suspects for my buddy because he lost his, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick
I'm
up
gonna,
a
I'm gonna try
couple and
this.
see if I
Yeah,
can
perfect.
see how it'll fly because I'm just messing around with my bag because
Yeah,
that's what you and I do.
that's what we
And
do. Yep,
so yeah, that's I got some air plastic and a suspect to
perfect.
replace the zone or
Nice.
go in that zone slot.
Awesome. Um, yeah, I
And
feel like for
you didn't tease this earlier. You spoiled this earlier.
yeah,
What's
yeah.
in your bag?
Um, so because I went to this Atlas bag, it just holds a lot more discs. Um, so now I have a hex in there.
That's a pretty one.
Yeah, it's nice.
I
My
like the
wife,
purple lately, man.
my wife picked it out. So, um, it's just flying really straight, really controllable. Um, I wouldn't say like further than my reactors, um, but it feels glidier. Like it's more like a float to your target as opposed to the reactors like phew, getting there quick. So
Interesting. But
so
you
if I
don't think
have
it flies as far,
well, it flies as far for sure. But it's not
but
like
not
it's
further.
yeah. So I
Hmm.
don't know
Interesting.
exa- yeah, I don't know the science behind that. I don't know, but in my throws in the field today is just like it flew a lot like my reactors, but it just kind of stayed in the air and then just gently dropped. So I think it might be good for like a lower ceiling type of shot where it's like will stay in the air and I don't have to like
Yeah, that
really
makes sense.
throw it through um, with a lot of power. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, got that, and then I added. I'm a big Simon guy. I like him. I've had these discs for a long time. They haven't been like forgotten about. I just had other things in, but I put proxies back in the bag.
I didn't even know they were out of the bag.
Yeah, for a long time.
What?
Yeah, yeah, I know. You didn't know that,
Dang.
but
What
yeah,
was in the proxy spot?
in the proxy spot. So the yellow one is understable, but not like uber flippy. Was the inner core. So
Oh,
those
okay.
are those are very just like I could I could throw either one in my next tournament round, no problem. I also don't really like that shot is maybe once around, twice at max. Like, am I throwing a flippy approach shot? That's a lot has to do with just the courses that I play are just very open and I just I'm comfortable with my forehand, taking my A2, my A3, and just like throwing it out and having it kind of crash. Like it's just a lot more controllable. Um, but you got to have some type of understable disc in the bag. And then I was wanting so that's the yellow one, and then this one is taking over
Is it
my
plasma?
plasma, my caltrop, which is like
Really?
yes, that disc flies like an envy. Like it's not a proxy. It's not flippy. It's not like straight. It is like hold an angle and it's staying there till it hits the ground. It is the most stable proxy I have ever. I mean, I've only thrown two, so I don't know ever, but like it flies super stable.
Hmm.
Um, and that's exactly what my caltrop was a point and shoot. It kind of fixes my error of overturning and kind of like putting a little bit of ante on the disc, so it'll self correct itself,
Hmm.
but won't come like crashing and skipping like my A3s. It'll just kind of fall down to the ground where it lands. So
Sick.
yeah, I just want something with a little bit more glide. I also have a baseline envy. Um, just
Does
something
that
that
fly similar to the plasmic
it's
proxy?
kind of in the middle of those two. So it's not
The
quite as
plasma
over.
proxy is more stable
Yes, I know.
than the baseline envy.
Then a baseline envy, wild, crazy. It doesn't make sense, but
Yeah.
that's just that's how it is. And then being an MVP disc, premium plastic, it's not going to beat in. So that's why I want to put it in the bag to like try season it in to be a straighter one. So
Yeah.
that I can add a glow proxy or a NV premium plastic NV type of thing to be slightly more overstable. But yeah, I really wanted to start relying on my A3 more, um, because I feel like I had so many different the catch up kind of became a crutch for me. Anytime I was inside of 250, that was my only thing I was throwing. Um, and I don't think it wasn't helping me score well. I think kind of moving
Because
up
you weren't
to.
getting close enough, or
It just wasn't flying far enough. I don't know. Also, just
but
because
you just didn't want to throw a mid range.
I can't find those discs anymore. So
True.
it's like I wanted to either be in my A3 a little bit more, um, just get more comfortable with that disc because I will see myself throwing that in Arizona a lot more than the cut drop.
The A3 meaning like, does it get more skip? And that's what you're banking on, or
Yeah, just it's just more stable. So if it's windy, I think of like Fountain Hills. It's just like I need a I need to trust that I can throw it over the water and have it kind of spike into those islands. Um,
oh yeah, 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 for
with
sure.
yeah, like just the stability of the couch drop wasn't enough to trust it in super windy conditions. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Alrighty. Well, good in the bags. Do
Mm-hmm.
you have a 2 minute drill for us this week, or is there something that you want to work on?
A little bit. So I got a rangefinder for Christmas.
Not a boy.
I had an old golf one, but like the last digit was not like uberly clear. So I could see
Hmm.
like 1 4 or like 1 0, and then it was blank. So I don't know if it's 149 or 140, which like
Yeah.
really in the scheme of things is not that much, but
Was it yards or feet?
it was yards. And the one
Yeah.
that I
So
got was
that makes it even like
yeah,
your variability in your
yeah.
range is a
And the
lot
one that
higher
I
there.
got is still yards, but my 2 minute drill is grab a basket, a flag, use your bag, and just like work on upshots. Like go 50 meters away, um, do 100 paces away, like just like take every disc in your bag or most of them and feel they how you throw them to a distance. So 75 yards. I did a lot of like 60 yards, 70 yards, 80, 90, 100. I would take mid ranges and putters, approach discs, and then up to fairways, just like what I can throw, how I can throw it to reach my target. Um, and like I'm really working on kind of like getting past my target, but not
Yeah.
like too far, obviously. But it's like I need to know
You don't
so
want to
that
just barely get there. You want to know that you can
yes,
get there
yeah, yeah,
and know
know
how
it,
much power it's going to take to get
yeah.
the
It kind of
shot.
reminds me, yeah, it kind of reminds me a lot of like golf. It's like you want to know your carry distance, how far you can carry it,
Exactly.
uh, your ball or your disc, um, not like where it's skipping out to or sliding to
Or rolling out
or
in
rolling
golf.
out. Yeah, yeah. So it's like you need to know if there's a sand trap at 85 meters, what disc you can throw to get yourself over that, not to it, because any wind, poor form, slip, you're not getting over it. It's like
Right.
you want to get over the danger and give yourself a look at those birdie putts.
Yeah.
So it's
Because, like, you could throw a disc this distance if you hit it optimally,
yeah,
but how often are you going to hit it at that
yeah,
perfect optimal point? And
yeah,
then what's your like average? And then what's your low? Like, knowing the variability in that range
yeah, yeah,
is
yeah,
huge,
yeah. So that's that. My 2 minute drill is just like
especially for your tournament coming up.
yeah,
That's what you got to
yeah.
focus on.
Measure yourself out. You have a lot of open holes, um, and long holes, so you can kind of get yourself in those weird 100 foot to 200 foot distances when you hit an early tree or you're just not quite there on a 800 foot par four. It's like, what are you throwing to really put yourself close and get
Hmm.
those stress free pars? Um, to I
Yeah.
wouldn't say save strokes, but just like to stop the bleeding per
to
se.
to not bleed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, stress-free pars are such a good feeling going into the next hole.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if you don't par and you're like, why the frick did I not par? Like
Yeah.
that should be
Yeah.
so easy.
Yeah.
Then you get frustrated and you think you need to overcompensate the next hole by being a
You
little
need
more aggressive or
you need a
whatever.
birdie the
Like
next hole. Yeah, and that's where
exactly.
the
And so
snow.
if you can just take your pars and take your birdies when you can get them and take your pars, that's like why in states the third round I
Mhm.
didn't take a single bogey
Yeah.
and I only shot 4 under par
Yeah.
or 3 under par for that
Yeah.
round.
Yeah.
Didn't take a bogey though. But
Yeah.
everybody I played with on my card had bogeys. They had more birdies than me, but they had lots of bogeys because
Hmm.
they were like, oh crap,
Yeah.
I didn't par this hole, so now I have to play aggressively.
Yeah.
And I
And
just stuck to my game
you
plan,
moved
and
up in the leaderboard, right?
I had stress free pars. I went from 6th place to 3rd place
Yeah. So
with
it's
just
like,
no bogeys.
yeah, we're at the level, and I think the people that we're talking, like, if you get pars, you are not giving up strokes to many people on a card, or like
Yeah,
just
like
in our level.
yeah, like maybe to the top players you might be giving up
Yeah.
strokes, but you're also
Yeah.
not going to drop down the leaderboard.
No. Yeah. So it's get your
You
bird.
might not be gaining strokes, but you're not losing them.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's get your birdies when you can, but make sure you eliminate as much stress as possible. And
Stress free pars.
yeah, put that disc close so you don't
Feel
have to
like
putt
feel like you need to write that on the bottom of like your approach disc. Stress
everything.
free pars.
Stress free pars.
Just stress free pars and be like, okay, sweet. I'm gonna just
Yeah.
put this right next to the basket.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I
good.
mean, obviously, if I was good at putting, every par would be stress free, but
I mean, if I can get
that's a
it
different
15
story.
feet, it's stress free for me.
Yeah. That's
If I
good.
can get it to 25 feet, I'm confident I can make the putt, but I don't want that pressure of a
No.
par putt. I'd rather have
Yeah.
that pressure of a birdie putt.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No.
so
So
man. Okay.
perfect.
Well, that's the podcast. Next
Yeah.
week we might have a guest on?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I can. I'll talk
Question
to him.
mark.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
saying you wanted to bring a guest on?
Yeah. So I'll reach out to my buddy. He had a very, yeah, we'll see. I have a buddy. We'll see if he wants to join us for a
Okay.
night.
Well, that'd be
So
good. We can get some recap from him. And
yeah,
then also we could probably just go through his bag. I think that'd be kind of fun.
yeah, he's got a lot of discs, so we'll hear about it.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Sick man.
take
Okay.
it easy, guys. Take care,
Thanks for
lefties.
listening.
Have a good one.